Hey Rob, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. I'll just merge your pull request.
I just opened the PR to add myself to the agenda a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I see that. I was trying to work out what the IS was, but of course it's a typo.
Oops, sorry.
No worries. I'll fix it.
I don't think there's a Jersey City in Iceland.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't think that's the case. Well, the only agenda item today is from Michael. So I'm going to see if I can give him a reminder, see if he's coming. Well, off topic, or slightly on topic, I suppose. I'm hoping to spend a little bit more time looking at the incremental delivery stuff again next week, hopefully. So yeah, I'd love to chat with you a bit more about it then, if that's good. Or at least
awesome.
see what you're working on. Hey, Lee.
Sorry, I was muted. Hey folks, sorry for joining a couple minutes late. Are we gonna have a limited crew today?
Yeah, and there's only one agenda item, and it's from Michael, who appears to be offline on Discord at least.
Well, maybe they'll show up. I hope so. How are you doing, Rob?
Good. Yeah. Been doing a lot of defer and stream stuff, but don't have anything to present today.
No sweat. I caught up on notes from the last one. Sorry I missed it. I was on vacation for the first time in a while, which is great. But
Nice.
sounds like y'all are making some good progress. How you doing, Benji?
Yeah, pretty good. I think the stream and defer stuff's going in the right direction, which I'm pretty excited about. I think there's going to be some real significant improvements coming out. Rob and I are sort of working together. Our specs have become aligned, such that we've now effectively merged them. So that's pretty cool.
It's a milestone right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got Yakov working on a reasonably similar proposal as well, with slightly different goals. So it's still interesting because we can still play them off against each other and see, you know, edge towards, you know, perfection, as it were. Always good to have competing solutions, I think.
Yes. Yes, I agree. Well, I guess we should maybe give a few minutes to see if we can get Michael to get through this agenda that he had put up on the board. Otherwise, if not, we can claim time back. It seems like I'm just gonna maybe read through what he'd put up here. GraphQL response JSON.
Yeah, I'm interested to know what he's going to be asking, because this is effectively what we currently have in the proposed spec, in the draft spec, as it were.
Yeah. And it looks like it's in a pretty good state. Maybe there's just an ambiguity or something that he's found worth talking about.
Michael says he got stuck in traffic, so bear with me, I'm waiting for the next message. It's the typing dots, you know. I shot you a random question earlier, Lee. I'm not sure if you saw it.
Oh, I think I'd seen that a ping came in, but didn't have a chance to look at it just yet.
It's just a little bit of nonsense. In the spec, I was looking at the case that we use for things like camel case, Pascal case, etc. And one interesting thing for me is that all of the fragment names are in camel case. They're not in Pascal case, for example. I was wondering if you had a particular like mental model behind that, or why you chose that particular casing convention.
Oh yeah. If I remember, the thought behind that was capital case, or the Pascal case, was a sort of reserved space for types. Like if I see something in Pascal case, I default to assuming that it is a type in the schema. And if I see something camel case, then I assume that it is something other than that. Obviously, the convention for field names and argument names and variable names is all camel case.
Yeah.
And fragment names are a little bit in an in-between space there. But I don't know, made sense to me to kind of treat them more similarly to a field than more similarly to a type.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
But I'm with you. I've seen both get used in the ecosystem at large.
Yeah, I was just doing some, you know, consistency stuff and seeing whether I aligned with the spec in what I was doing, and it was the one difference. And I was like, I wonder why that is. I think in Relay, like fragments are almost treated like fields. Like you can access them as a thing, right? Some of the time. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. So it kind of makes
Relay
sense.
will force you to make it the same. It has to start with the same as the file name that it's in. So like if it's a React component, usually those are Pascal case, but if it's like a helper function or something, it might be camel case.
Oh, interesting.
So definitely like our
Oh,
code base
I
is a
didn't
mix of things.
Right, I
Right,
have
like I just pulled
gone.
up their website to see if I could find quick examples, but it's hard to unpack that particular piece of insight.
um, I haven't received another message from Michael. I did say, should we wait? Which he has not yet responded to. So I don't think he'd be too bothered if we push it to the next one. Sounds like even if he makes it, he might be a little bit rushed anyway.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm happy to hand back time for everybody if he's gonna be too late and don't want to rush him. You can let him know that we can just talk about it next time, or if it's something that it's a async discussion, we could always have an async discussion around it and then build up more context for the discussion at large.
Absolutely.
Was there any other questions on the casing pieces? I think I just saw your message that you mentioned the
No.
constant case, all uppercase bits too, because we will sometimes use that for enum dates.
Yeah, the enums use the constant case, and yeah, fields and arguments, as you say, and variable names, all that uses the camel case. It was literally only the fragment names that I saw that were kind of different to what I see, not just in my own code, but like in the ecosystem that I interact with,
Yeah.
which obviously is not the full ecosystem. I started thinking about it because someone came to me and they were like, they wanted snake case for like all of their fields. I think because they're consuming it from a different language, and they were like, why do you do camel case? And I was like, well, I do it because that's what the spec does. And then I thought, I'll have a look at everything else in there.
Funnily enough, the much older, I don't know what Facebook's code base looks like today. It may very well use a healthy amount of camel casing since that's the thing that's in fashion. But the 10-year ago plus code base used a lot of snake case.
Mhm.
And since the sort of like the reason for GraphQL getting introduced in the first place was to be as much of a natural extension from that code base into a query language as possible, the field names in GraphQL and Facebook's GraphQL schema mapped one-to-one to method names on data structure types in the underlying code base. And so as a result, also used snake case. And I remember having this debate in when like doing the spec and doing the first version of the thing, where I was like, I'm gonna do it all in camel case. And the reason was because camel case was like clearly the preferred thing for at least the JavaScript community and probably a handful of other communities. And Nick Schock was just like, this is stupid and this is going to confuse a bunch of people internally because they'll have to translate back and forth. I'm like, yeah, we can leave our internal one snake case. I don't care that much. But
with the reference
it's funny that
implementation
there's still
being in
people.
JavaScript, I think that was the right choice.
Probably fine. It seems to have stuck. If everyone switched back to snake case, then I would have eaten my words for sure.
I think like everything that's part of the GraphQL language or spec, not your schema, is only one word though. So like we want to have initial count on stream, and I think that might be the first thing that is 2 words and like 1 directive argument.
Yeah, that's true. We've effectively evaded or avoided. You're right, it's probably avoided. Is that true? Is there nothing in introspection where we have double named arguments or fields in introspection?
No, maybe that's not
in
true.
Introspection, I think there definitely is, but in the directive arguments, I don't think there is currently.
In the query language itself and the first class directives.
I don't think the directives themselves are 2 words either, because I came across it with one of.
Oh, right. Yeah. You can always do the thing where you just lowercase the whole thing and just hope people can pick out words.
Yeah.
Probably wrong. All right, folks, we can yield and then hit this one next time.
Sounds good. See you next month.
Yep, see you in a little bit. See you, Benji, see you, Rob.
Bye.
Bye.